Now I'm ready to slice my avocado, which is another garnish that I'll be using for my chili. Now we use avocados a lot again in our culture because we use it to make guacamole and we also eat it with beans. Now that I have cut around my avocado, I will twist it to get the seed. This avocado is firm, and even if you can't get it to be even, you can mash it up to use it as a garnish for your dish. Although this avocado was firm and I wasn't able to use it as I wanted to, I will still use it as a garnish for my dish, but I will be slicing it up. Now I'll continue with my mise en place and put it in the bowl. Okay, so now I have all these good ingredients together. So now I'll get ready to start making my chili because I'm getting hungry. Now I'll be dicing my jalapeno, which will give spice and flair to the chili. Now I'm gonna tunnel my jalapeno and get ready to dice it. So now I'll be removing the seeds. Depending on how hot you want it, is how many seeds you have in there, like how much seeds you will keep in there. In my culture, we use jalapenos a lot. So we put it in our tacos and we also use it to make salsa. It's easier if I put the knife down and start using my fingers. It'll be safer. Since I'm only using half of a jalapeno, I'll get ready to start dicing it. So first I'm going to slice it. Now I'm going to dice it. Now I'll put it in my bowl for my mise en place. So now that we're done with this, I'm going to start measuring off my dry ingredients. So first, we're going to start with the ground cumin. My recipe calls for 2 tablespoons, but it is too small. It is too big to fit in here, so I'll be using 6 teaspoons. I'll be putting it in the ramekin. Now that I'm done with the cumin, I'll move on to my garlic powder. Recipe, it calls for 1 tablespoon.
Say it again.
The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of garlic powder. Now that I'm done with my garlic, I will now get my 1 1/2 teaspoons of salt. Now that I'm done with the salt, I will now get my 1/2 teaspoons of black pepper. Now that I'm done with this, I'll get 1 teaspoon of sesame.
Stay right there.
In my culture, we use a lot of sazon in our soups, so I think it will really complement the chili. So now we'll be doing 1/2 teaspoons of paprika. Now that I'm done with my paprika, I will do 1 teaspoon of crushed red pepper, which will also add more spice to my dish. Correction, is actually 1/2 teaspoon. Now that I'm done with the crushed red pepper, I will be using 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Now that I'm done with my tomato paste, I will measure my beef broth into the liquid cup. And my recipe calls for 1 1/2 cups of beef broth. Now that I have measured my beef broth, my next step calls for 1 tablespoon of Mexican crema. I will be using my Mexican crema as a garnish for my dish.